Nah, Meadow, you can't be writing those freaky ass papers for Jackie Jr. He's not even going to his seminars at Rutgers, girl. You need to respect yourself. Freaky ass Edgar Allan Poe dissertation. Rutgers mentioned. I don't know anything about Rutgers. If I had to guess, it's in New Jersey. Yep, yes. Even though the university starts with the letter R, I feel like their logo is like a big letter U. Is that correct? No, never mind. It's a big R. Never mind. Have you guys ever seen that one, man? I think that might be one of the most clutch references that the fewest people get. Hello, Kate, by the way. Kate, I had to leave Dan's chat. He was baiting too hard. What was he doing? Well, he was talking shit about the Beatles. But, like, that's fine. But he knows, like, 2 Beatles songs. And also, he was saying, like, they're not as good as Fall Out Boy, which is just mental illness. Like, that's just crazy. At least Justin's like, I'm not fucking with the Beatles, but I'm a big fan of, like, you know, some shit that I've never heard of. Or he's a big fan of Keep It Like a Secret by Built to Spill or something like that. But he was saying, like, what kind of music have the Beatles made lately? Bro, John Lennon got shot in the chest in 1980. The shit was almost 50 years ago. What the fuck do you mean, what kind of music have they made lately? Doesn't make any fucking sense, man. He got killed on the streets of New York like 5 years before you were even born. You and me riding solo, wearing bolos in the sun. Yeah, they broke up 60 years ago, man. At least the Beatles can sing. Kate, don't push it, okay? Because I agree with you, but you got to relax on the Bob Dylan stuff, okay? So I am a big Beatles glazer because I consider myself a 20th century man. But in terms of songwriting, Dylan mogs them in songwriting, in my opinion. But you're comparing an 11 to a 10. My girlfriend's 100% in on Gay Bob Dylan. Gay Bob Dylan at the Rolling Thunder Review would be like, if there's a driver on this road, then let him have my load. You know what I'm talking about? 'Cause tonight I'll be staying here with you. Get ready. You know what I'm talking about? That's one of the songs where he actually sings like good. Why is he screaming? Because he was fucked up on cocaine after his divorce, bro. The dude was snorting mountains of cocaine before every single show. Bob Dylan does not virtue signal, bro. He vice signals, if anything. Like, the dude weighed 92 pounds, and he's singing songs about how, like, what does he say? I gotta sing all of Idiot Wind to get there. There's a lone soldier on the cross, smoke pouring out of a boxcar door. You didn't know it. You didn't think it could be done. At the final end, he won the war after losing every battle. Like, literally, you were just strung out in the Chelsea hotel, bro. What are you talking about? You got crucified on the railroad tracks. You were literally eating, like, bagels with cream cheese next to your hotel. You didn't think it could be done. That's how he sings, man. You're 100% right on that impression. I've been working on it. Also, it's easy as a fellow person who can't sing. I'm from Dan's chat. You really think the Beatles have one song better than Band on the Run? Ja Rule. I think that the Beatles, 98% of the songs the Beatles ever made are better than Band on the Run. The reason I respect Band on the Run at all is because Paul McCartney was fucking on one for like a whole decade. So he's allowed to make some shitty songs like Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time because he changed the course of music history forever between 1960 and 1970. People really say, I don't listen to old music. The fuck you mean old music, bitch? You guys are from the same century, you fucking idiot. You're both relics, buddy. I gotta figure out what Green Sleeves sounds like, just so I can commit it to memory. Green Sleeves best version! I have mixed pictures and movies together to make the song even more relaxing and maybe better. I have found the pictures, videos all around the internet. Some pictures are filled with the brightest light, others dark as a black hole. Literally not even possible without putting the fate of the galaxy at risk. But okay, buddy, whatever you say. I have done that to make a big contrast between light and dark and make a mind work along with this perfect music. This is greens. Oh shit, what dude, the video goes hard actually. Okay. That's so fucking funny. Holy shit, man, I had no idea. I promise you, you guys are not ready for the first transition from picture to picture on this YouTube video of Greensleeve's best version. Oh, man. Oh, shit, man. How'd they do this shit pre-AI? Is this just what Ireland looks like? This is, whoa, man, this is crazy. That can't be real. How's it going in movie land? I got 60% of the way through Mickey 17, and then my daughter woke up at 6:20 a.m. and I had to get off my bike ride. So I gotta finish Mickey 17. It seems pretty good, is what I would say. It seems pretty good. I thought the first 30 to 45 minutes of it was very good, and then once it stopped explaining and started doing stuff, I was like, it seems a little less good now, but still, I was enjoying it. At least I mean, it's no Parasite, but I was enjoying it. I forgot I was gonna look up. Never mind, because you guys don't know the reference, and everyone goes, "What the hell are you talking about, Unk?" Every time I say it, I'm gonna take you back to the past, man. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind. You guys don't know this one? Never mind. Shag my friends tonight. That's a classic, man. That's a classic. I love that one. Shag my friends tonight. Woo! Oh man, it does sound like Guitar Hero when you screw up. Bro, I'm not a Peloton salesman. I'm at my day job right now. Chill. You gotta meet me at the sales center, okay? That's a ChatGPT question. Go ask ChatGPT what kind of shoes you need for the Peloton, man. You see that new Kilo and Stitch? That would be a great fucking name. That'd be a great diss if you had a friend who had an alien, but also they were a little bit overweight. You could be like, "What's up, Kilo and Stitch?" They'd be like, "Hey, what the fuck, man?" Two players recorded 10-plus points in the Kings and Blackhawks 2014 Western Conference Finals. Patrick Kane and this Kings player. That's an interesting one. It could be like Marian Gaborik. He was popping off back then. If my next guest was going to be Kopitar. I think Kopitar is also fair, but I always think of Kopitar as more of like a defensively responsible perennial Selke candidate, but fair enough. What's the capital of Ireland? That's Ben Affleck and Amy Schumer. From 2014 to 2016, this VH1 reality dating game show central premise was that the contestants were without clothes. Naked attraction? Dating naked? Apparently it is dating naked, man. Lucky me. Clothes? Imagine dating naked. You're right, man. I would think about that every time I see myself with no clothes on. I'm like, damn, the clothes do make the man, huh? Ladies, you look good in clothes, you look good out of clothes, okay? Men, we look good in clothes. Like 5% of us look good naked. I'm not going to say there's no hot naked men, but it's like we're in the minority. I said we like I'm in the club. Oh, that's fucking funny, man. It's just cold. No, it's everything, man. Like the shirt makes your torso look like uniform and not lumpy. And like, I don't know, like the balls just don't, I never know what to do with them, man. Like most of the time they just hang there, but every once in a while, I'm like, what are you doing, man? I don't know where to put you. Like I'm trying, and then you kind of like adjust them, but then you move your position and they're in the way again, and you're like, well, I can't touch my balls again. I'm out in public. People are gonna be like, they're gonna call the cops on me. Like I don't know what happened. It's definitely I haven't hit a growth spurt. Let's put it that way. But I tend to sleep on my stomach or on my side. And I feel like I'm pinching my balls constantly. So then I'm like reaching over and like grabbing the whole kit and caboodle and then like kind of moving it over to the side. But then it's like it's applying like tension on one of the attach points to like my groin. And so now I'm like, okay, just hang natural. But as soon as you tell it to act natural, it gets really self-conscious. So I can't, I think what I need is like, I need to cut a hole in my mattress so that I can shove my balls in the mattress hole while I'm sleeping. Because then at least they've got like a place to go. Yeah, like a massage chair, but it's got the the milking table. Put one leg out to your side when you're on your stomach. Out to my like a flamingo. I didn't turn my filter off. I love talking about this stuff. This is real shit that we could all possibly relate to, man. Everybody else. Do you think 100 guys could take down one gorilla? Fuck that, dude. What do you do with your balls when you're sleeping? And don't give me that I sleep on my back bullshit, you fucking virtue signaler. Coffin rehearsal ass. Yoni Wolf type shit. Sorry, what did Corey say? He got dono walled? At least you don't get a sleep boner like 70% of the night? Buddy, what do you mean? Just set your watch to it, man. Again, this is not to be crass. The ladies know about morningwood. It's a mystery. I don't really know why it happens. But you wake up with, like, forgive the parlance, you wake up with the best erection you've ever had in your entire life. The kind of erection where you're like, if I could snap my fingers and make it happen, that's the one that I would want. But you're like, I don't want it right now because I got to go pee. I want it to go away so that I can pee in the toilet without like hyperextending my shit. That's how you know, even when you're sick, that's how I know I'm not in trouble. If I wake up and all reliable's still there, I'm like, I can't be that bad. The body's still doing like optional shit. Even if the tip did turn gray. I have a newborn and changing diapers in the middle of the night with a boner blows. That's so fucking real, man. Because you look goofy too, man. You're like, first off, I'm waking up after like 2.5 hours of sleep, and now I'm walking around with my underpants like all bulged out for no reason, hunched over a little bit like a fucking weirdo. Oh, man. The human body is so fucking funny, man. You gotta have a sense of humor about it. If you don't, you're gonna be here a while. I'm glad I have earbuds in. Okay, so maybe I'm not neurotypical. Because Corey and I and Chiblee, we were talking about the season finale of the rehearsal last night. And I was like, I mogged the reading the mind and the eyes test. And he said, really? What was your score? I said, hang on real quick. I'll take it again. I took it again and I got like a fucked up score. I got like 52% or something like that. And I said, well, that doesn't really matter. That test isn't valid. I'm going to do the RADS R again. And then I did the RADS R and scored like 2 points below the minimum threshold. And I was like, damn, wait a second. This test says I definitely don't have autism. Maybe I have autism. But like the one that really struck out to me was like, do people tell you that you speak about inappropriate things? And I'm like, yes, but I also feel like it mostly happens because I'm a streamer. I don't talk about this shit in day-to-day life unless, we got a great rapport. But then also secondarily, I'm like, everybody else is wrong. Like, I'm not talking about the fact that you get a boner when you wake up isn't gross. That's just I don't know what to say. Like, it's the human body, man. If I was like talking about bodies being mashed into like a meat grinder or something like that, like that's a different story. But like it happens. You wouldn't say it to the daycare dads? Yeah, but the reason I wouldn't say it to the daycare dads is because it's something that you don't say. Like that's and maybe that's masking, man. I don't know because I'm calling it all into question now. But like I know that it's something you don't say, but from base principles, it doesn't make sense to me that it's inappropriate to talk about. It's inappropriate to talk about like, hey, nice to meet you, you know? Don't you think it's funny that we all get boners when we wake up? Like that's, you don't just launch with that. But like I don't when I have a connection with somebody and we've been friends for a while, it seems weird that that's something inappropriate to talk about. That's not masking, that's locking in. Hey T, you do this Rad's R test? Candelabra, I'm thinking like some shit from Beauty and the Beast. People affected by the witch's curse in Beauty and the Beast. Yes, man. Okay. Carousel is the baggage carousel. Oh. Airport features. Kate, I know you're not on Reddit, but because, you know, we've been to Disneyland a few times in our lives, it serves me r/Disneyland posts every single day. Let me give you my impression of the Disneyland subreddit every single day. Top post, a picture from the line of there being a lot of people in line to go into Disneyland. The comments saying shit like, wow, it's really busy. Me pooping, looking at my phone going, no shit, it's Disneyland. Like, what do you expect? It's one of the busiest places on earth, next to Disney World and Tokyo Disney. Also, like, you're in line. Like, you're the reason it's busy, bro. You are the traffic. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know, my farmer's market gets pretty busy. I was talking to Corey and Chiblee about the farmer's market last night, too. First off, Corey insulted me. He said, you don't strike me as a farmer's market sort of guy. I am a farmer's market sort of guy. I love supporting local businesses and artisans with cash only. But I think I said one of the realest things I've ever said in my life, which is I feel bad for the jewelry salespeople at the farmer's market, but I also feel like I've got to be the 9,000th person walking past them and smiling without buying anything, so they should be used to it by now. I'm sorry. I'm not going to the farmer's market to buy a piece of artisan, like woven jewelry. I'm there to buy tamales, pierogies, baklava, maybe some baked goods, something like that, maybe some apple cider. It's all food. It's 100% food. Maybe some cheese from like Osuyus or something. My ass is not going to buy like a jade pendant or something. I don't mean to be rude to you. I'm just saying you should set your expectations appropriately. There's a glass maker at mine, and I'm like, dude, nobody's buying bongs at the farmer's market. I hear you, man. I hear you. You know what I will buy at the farmer's market, though? I don't mind buying like housewares. Housewares is not what I'm looking for. Like household goods. Like I like buying some homemade soap from like a guy with like a maroon or a burgundy leather jacket type thing. You know, when he's holding like a bar of soap with like a bite out of it or whatever. And like he keeps talking to himself. You know what I'm saying? Does every farmer's market have a pickle guy? Yes, sir. I also feel bad because I keep going to like the chain store that sells local artisan goods. And I'm always like, man, these bowls look sick. And I almost buy like a wooden or ceramic bowl made by a local artist. And then I come to my senses and I go, wait a second. I've got 100 plates and bowls in my house already. I'm not trying to, sorry, I'm being an asshole. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, but I'm like, I'm sorry to say that I already got it. Like, I don't know really what, if your passion is like pottery or making cookwares or something like that, like I get it, but I'm not going to throw out my perfectly good bowls just to buy like another bowl. We got that stuff when we moved in. Yeah, the best part is you string them along for like 30 minutes. They start telling you the story about how they got into pottery, and you're like, wow, how much would like 12 of these bowls be? And then they tell you it's going to be like $472, and then you go, that's a fair price. Wait a minute. Oh, I already have 102 bowls in my house. I just remembered. Everybody on earth has more bowls than they could possibly need. I was also telling Corey, the farmer's market kind of pisses me off because, like, I mean, I know this is how it works, but sometimes you buy something awesome, then you go to the farmer's market like the next week and they're not there. And then you go to the farmer's market the next week and they're not there again. And you're like, damn, maybe you should get like some kind of like stationary location, like a building where you can sell your wares. And then like maybe you could connect it to like a major public road or something like that, like some kind of store where I could go and and buy your stuff, because I'm kind of sick. I'm kind of sick of trying to buy more baklava, but the baklava lady's not at the farmer's market anymore, man. Or maybe she's at a different farmer's market. I don't know. Maybe she decided that the farmer's market where I originally saw her, that was like a one-off thing. But now I gotta download the Instagram app to follow the baklava lady so that I know where she's gonna be. Like, I got stuff to do. Yeah, he transferred her, bro. I don't need that on my conscience. Plus the baklava was worth it, man. Then she's got to pay rent. Well, yeah, but she could just sell like more baklava to make up for it or whatever. This shit's pissing me off, man, because is anyone else made deeply uncomfortable by this image? Fuck, I am not neurotypical. The image is making me uncomfortable, but it's busting out of the border, man. It's too big. It can't breathe. It's suffocating, man. Get it out of there. There was the question that was like, are there textures other people don't seem to be bothered by that you find annoying if they touch your skin? And I said no, but in my head I was like, besides velvet, right? Nothing really bothers me texturally to touch, but velvet is really bad. But I thought like everybody was like that with velvet. They're like, it just feels weird, man. No. Porcelain? You're not beating the fucking allegations, man. Porcelain feels good. Velvet's fucked up. You aren't either? Bro, the test said I'm cool. The test literally said you're cool, don't sweat it. Styrofoam for me? Nah, skill difference. Styrofoam doesn't bother me. Does make kind of an annoying sound, but I'm not like covering my ears or anything. I'm beating the allegations. Plus the test probably doesn't matter. How about cotton? Okay, I really don't like to touch cotton balls. I'll do it if I have to, but I really don't like it. You're cooked? I'm more neurotypical than you, okay? I'm more neurotypical than you. Even if I'm not beating the allegations, there's like grades to this shit, okay? They're gonna be like, maybe you got it, but it's like the cool kind. It's like the cool kind that makes you like really good at your job, but you can still like go out and eat all sorts of foods. You don't just have to like eat pepperoni pizza with ranch dressing on it all the time. They're gonna be like, you got the cool kind, for sure, man, I can tell. Spiced chai. Does anyone have the Costco kind? Wait, that's me. 3.5 pounds of spiced chai mix. Wait, they're relying on me. They're relying on me here. I don't know how much chai costs, man. I barely know what it is. It's like tea, but like, how can you have tea powder? That doesn't make sense to me. Either way, why is it like a beer? This is so beer coated. This is definitely like Big Train Amber Ale type glass, man. They got the wrong, you're supposed to have like a different type of logo for this. I'm not talking about the contents of the glass. I'm talking about the glass itself is very like brew pub coated. Regardless. 3.5 pounds, $3. I'm going to say it's $11.99. No, chai consumers are willing to spend more money. $13.99. $14.99. We take those. Is it true that if you live in Michigan and you don't drive an American-made car, people will honk at you? Yes, no. Yes, no, no. It's an American brand. No, but they might judge you. Not in the Upper Peninsula, maybe in the Lower Peninsula. I got yelled at for having a Kia once. Dude, the people, listen, I understand buying local because I've been doing it a lot more lately ever since your country can't seem to go a week without making a joke about taking mine over. Even when they got the senators together that were like, we'd like to apologize. And then all the senators were like, we regret that things have become so acrimonious. And then another senator said, plus, we don't even want your country as the 51st state. We only want Alberta. And we said, listen up, buddy. You wasted your trip. You should not have invited Tim Kaine. You should not have invited that guy. He let the intrusive thoughts win and completely undid any goodwill that you had tried to create there, okay? Tim Kaine in the Membrane is real. I was thinking, what about a stream title that's like Peter Jackson if he drank the Lin-Manuel Miranda juice? Elijah, because Elijah Wood is in, it's kind of like, it's a bit hacky, but do they know in Michigan, no disrespect, again, I understand buying locally, do they know that the American-made cars tend to be worse than the cars that are not made in America, specifically Japan, though? Like, I don't want to become like a meme, but car Japan is actually kind of like bat chest. At least Toyota. And Mazda, that's true. Honda, I mean, I don't know. My dad drove some Hondas growing up and he had nothing but positive stuff to say, but apparently they fell from grace in terms of reliability. They're still reliable, but not the gold standard of reliability anymore, is what I heard. He had a Honda Accord Coupe when I was in high school. It was like the closest thing to a sports car my dad ever had. And it was sick, man. And they loved it. They loved it so much they bought a CRV. And then after the CRV, they were like, let's upgrade. And they bought a Mercedes. And then they had to get their oil changed. And it was like $3,000. And they said, let's sell this Mercedes. And then they bought a Japanese car again. New Line Cinema, post Gold member, starring Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez 05. I'm going to say that maybe this is Monster-in-Law. Okay, that's a big one. Yeah, I'm not beating the allegations. $34 million, week 2, Universal, starring Will Ferrell. This is definitely kicking and screaming. No, I feel like Queso getting the burgers right, where he keeps going, please don't know this next burger. And then he's like, that's Red Robin. Oh no. Oh shit, that's funny, man.
Whose burger?
Oh no. I hope for my own sake that I get at least one of these wrong. That's a McDouble from McDonald's. I'm not gonna get one wrong, I'm cooked.
Whose burger is this?
That's Wendy's. That's a Dave single. Oh my god! I didn't get a single one wrong!
Lionsgate, $5 million for a total of $27 million, starring Don Cheadle from 05. It's a drama. It's probably Hotel Rwanda, but I'm not going to lean into it for the clip. That's a known movie. No, this is pre-Reign Over Me. Moving at the speed of life, we're bound to collide with each other. Holy fuck, it's Crash, man. Don Cheadle's top build in Crash? I would have assumed Sandra Bullock, but in post-September 11th Los Angeles. That's fucking funny. I loved this movie when it came out. To be fair, I was 16 years old, and this is deep. I loved it so much that for Christmas, I bought my mom the DVD. But, like, I think the movie was made for sanctimonious 16-year-olds, okay? I'm not going to go to bat for it now. But the fact that they build it as post-September 11th Los Angeles in 2005 is so fucking funny, man. I think this is PUBG. Metacritic score of 75. Days gone by, because Corey here, I know he played that. It's the bitter love of the family. Is it Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl? Is it Stalker Clear Sky Prologue? It's Stalker Clear Sky, man. It did look like PewDiePie's bridge, the bridge of Felix Kjellberg. As I call it, the Felix Kjellberg Memorial Bridge. Come on. It did, though. I don't know what you want me to say. It looked like they were going to North Georgia, man. Librarian, do not pull that up.
Right. What a fucking...
Dude, we found one of those Pokemon card vending machines this weekend. And Kate was like, should we buy some cards? And I was like, let's not do it. And then she said, okay, that's fine. And then like 5 minutes later, she was like, let's go over and just see if there are any in the machine. Because online, they're all sold out. And I said, you know what? Okay. I've said my piece, but she's her own woman. She can do whatever she wants. We went over to the machine. Everything was sold out. There were like 90 SKUs in the machine, and every single one of them was totally sold out to the bone, man. I did see a video of like a card store that had the machine, And there was like, I think Dan would love the video, man. Because there is a lineup of like 15 people outside of the card store waiting for it to open. And they're looking through the glass. And a dude who works at the card store walks up to the machine and goes like, beep. Beep, 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 and then like puts his credit card into it, and then the machine goes like dunk, 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 and then it all just goes sold out, and he carries the stuff into the staff room. It's so good. And all the people in the line are like, what? No! Scalpers are putting GPS trackers on the resupply trucks. The thing that's cool about money is that you get it for like adding value to society. It's like when you do work, basically it's a way for us to turn our time into like a fungible, transferable unit that you can then use. You can store the value of your time in something and then transfer it to somebody else in exchange for goods and services. So I respect that then. They must be adding a lot of value to the economy, man, by buying all those Pokemon cards. I bet it's fun, though. I'm not a scalper, but I bet it's fun. Because, like, you could spend, like, an hour a day reconciling the moral quandary of, like, slurping excess capital out of the system. And then you got, like, another, like, 8-9 hours to just be like, whatever. It's a living. It's not like I'm doing anything too special. Like, you know, didn't you scalp 3 switches? No, we bought a bunch, but we're going to distribute them to our friends, man, as gifts. And then tax write-offs. You wouldn't get it. It's called business. This is an honest question. Do you have to, like, you have to be handy to work at a hardware store? So I feel like every time I go to the hardware store, the salesman is, like, so excited to talk to me about the project that I'm doing. And I have to be like, you got the wrong guy. Like, I think one of the last times I went, I was like, I need a ladder. And he was like, okay, follow me to the ladder section. And then he was like, what kind of work you doing? Like, how big do you need the ladder to be? And I was like, oh, fuck, I didn't do my research, man. I'm like, I needed to be like big enough to reach my smoke detector. And they're like, how high up is it? How many feet? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 1.5 of me up, I guess. He knew that I wasn't the guy for him. I told you the story of how I got mogged buying rat poison at Home Depot, right? Like, I was in the rat poison section, and then a dude came by and was like, do you need any help? And I said, I don't think so. We got rats, so I'm looking for rat poison. And he said, oh, you're not going to get him with that. And then he took me to like a locked cabinet and was like, it was actually like when John Wick gets weapons at the Continental. He was like, that stuff doesn't really work that well. That's like, those are placebos. Here's what you want. And it had like a nuclear bomb on the front with like a rat with X's for eyes. It was kind of sick. And he was right, man. Like it got the job done. It got the job done. I've been feeling a little different ever since too, but can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. Don't poison. Oh, you shouldn't kill rats. You should tell them to stop taking a shit in my barbecue then, and I'll stop exterminating the species from my fucking yard, okay? If you could tell them to stop dumping their fucking disease shit inside of the place where I cook food, then we wouldn't have a fucking problem, man. Just for that, you're getting Puckdoku, virtue signaler. St. Louis and Philadelphia, that's an easy one, man. I'm thinking that's Chris Pronger. Chris Pronger, $100 million. Chris, $100 million is actually not a lot of money, Pronger. You don't get it. No, you're not listening. When you're an NHL player, you also have to pay an agent. You also have to pay taxes. Plus, you've got to like buy food to live on. It's actually not that much money when you realize it costs money to survive on planet Earth. Sorry, you guys might not be familiar with the context. Released from 05 to 20. I'm realizing as I get older, man, there's a lot of actors I actually like don't care for. I don't really care for Chris Pratt. Don't really care for The Rock. Don't really care for Ryan Reynolds. Kind of getting sick of Pedro Pascal, although he seems affable and based outside of his work. He is in Moneyball. He plays Scott Hatteberg in Moneyball, but Scott did most of the heavy lifting by like existing, so his character could be based on him. They all decide to be in Slop. I don't get it. I think I get it, but I don't respect it anymore. I think like a few years ago, I kind of respected it. It's like, hey, it's just nice to have like consistent work. But now I'm like, yeah, but you could be working and like you're already insanely rich. You could be working, still being rich and getting paid a lot of money, but not being in pure garbage. But maybe like you're just like a mercenary, I guess. You're like, I don't really care what I'm in. Why would they care? Well, I don't know. Maybe they want to go like, that's why I respect Timothy Chalamet, man. A lot of people, particularly like sports gambling addicted Barstool sports fans, were like, I don't respect Timothy Chalamet for getting on stage and saying, I want to be one of the GOATs. That's why I respect Timothy Chalamet, man. He has ambition to like make great movies, not just to like be the center of like a tentpole release. Now, I do hope that they franchise A Complete Unknown because there's lots of Bob Dylan stories yet to be told. But the dude got on stage and said, I want to be one of the greatest actors of all time. We need more of that attitude, man. Because I really don't give a shit how much money Chris Pratt has. Like, be in a good movie, buddy. Okay, Moneyball came out like 13 years ago. Then he did Wonka. Well, I razz Wonka, but I thought people like mostly liked it. Plus, Chris Pratt's literally like 51. He's a 51-year-old realtor phenotype. And Timothy Chalamet's like 12 years old. He can be in a kid's movie. That's fine. He's 30 plus. He's not 30 plus, okay? He's 30. But also he was in Lady Bird, so he's 14. It's great. You go from like public figures, you go from like 18 to 30 so fast. It's in like 3 years. But then you stay in your 30s for like 4 decades. Like I made a joke about Chris Pratt being 51. There's no shot he's 51. He's probably like 27. That doesn't make sense now that Julianne Moore is a perfect example. How fucking old are you, Julianne Moore? You've been famous since like 1992. And you look 45. I don't know. You maybe you look 50, 53. You've been rocking it forever, man. She's 64 years old. That's crazy, man. And you don't see Julianne Moore in fucking Jurassic World Dominion or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom or shit like the Tomorrow War. Was she in Far From Heaven, Paul Thomas Anderson shit, May December, Gloria Bell, The Big Lebowski, Children of Men, bitch, Children of Men. Okay, it's not a good example because she was in Jurassic Park 2, but that she was younger then. She was Timothy's age at that age, man. She's in a lot of old people slop. When the movie isn't science fiction with a gimmick. Sorry, I'm crashing out at Hart in the Discord because he asked me he asked us if Mickey 17 is girl slop. And then everyone went, can you not? Or no, he called it wife slop. That's right. And then we all went, please don't use that word. And also, if anything, it's dude slop. A science fiction, like comedy, essentially. A comedy in space, that's dude slop, bro. Science fiction with a gimmick is dude slop. That doesn't mean it's not without merit, but it's dude slop. Go ahead, ask a 25-year-old dude what his favorite movie is, but then right when he's about to answer, say, and you can't say Interstellar. He's going to say, The Umbrellas of Schoenberg. Oh, have you seen it? Oh, it's on my watch list. Listen, buddy, fuck you and the Chris Pratt you wrote in on. Sorry, I'm stalling because I can't think of a Reese Witherspoon. Okay, Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde, red, white, and blonde. UEFA Women's Euro 2022. It's a pretty good-looking pizza. I don't know if I call it, like, where's the Gordon Ramsay trying to make a episode about Wembley Stadium? Where's the fucking basil? Where's the basil, mate? Margarita pizza. Right, straight off. No fucking basil. No fucking basil. How do they say it? Anyway, we're going barbecue skewers for sure. Pizza looks fine, though. Lamb, Rogan, Josh. I don't, like, I'm at the risk of flanderizing myself. You have to recognize, you don't have to stop, but you have to recognize that the Indian curries on top of French fries is fucked up. It's messed up, England. And it pisses me off even more because of the fact that whenever there's poutine, it like scores poorly in Scrandle. When it's literally just exactly the same as like all the other dishes that are being presented. It's kind of just chicken and fries with a sauce. Yes, that's why it's weird, man. We don't do that in like the rest of the world. I'm speaking for like the rest of the world, man. Why are they always eating such messy food at the stadium? Well, I will put respect on them because they seem to be like not making a mess. In North America, we probably couldn't be trusted with this. Aren't you Canadian? Yeah, but like the only people who eat poutine are people who are hungover, people who are gonna be hungover in like 12 hours, and like the 14-year-old designated hitter on the softball team in between the two legs of a doubleheader. Like it's not a very common food item for like adults to consume very often. They have it at Costco. They got lots of shit at Costco I don't buy. I'm not buying licorice all sorts either, man. I don't know. Honestly, all of these, I'd probably still go with the lamb Rogan Josh. Loaded roast potatoes. If this was from Canada, British people would give it like a 6 on Scrandle, but because it's from England, it's going to have like an 81. But I got to admit, this looks all right, man. A little heavy on the fuck you sauce or whatever they call it. Bitchin' sauce, coated our signature hand-battered fried chicken served on russet potato skin on loaded french fries with fuck your mother sauce. You'll want to slap your mother, the sauce is so good sauce. Plymouth Argyle bacon double cheeseburger. Honestly, you know my position on this. It just looks like it's too much. But a lot of people might like it, even though the burger is like hairy for some reason. The burger has a white beard. Chicken tikka fries. I mean, I'm noticing the theme today, but I think that this looks all right. This is one where I think I'm going to vote for this 100%. But I'm asking you honestly, and we can meet in the middle on this as human beings. Does this look tasty to you? Like if this came out on a plate, would you be like, yum, I'm glad I ordered that? Because to me, this looks like a mission, and I mean that in an insulting way. Like this looks like they're trying to overwhelm me. They're trying to shock and awe me with food. Seems like we got like 50-50. It's not virtue signaling. I'll eat some unhealthy food. I'll eat like 2 handfuls of jelly beans right now on camera, man. But like this is just, I don't know. I don't like when the restaurant wants me to like admit that I'm an animal, you know? I know I'm an animal, but like, can you serve me in like an elevated fashion? Like the all-day breakfast is fine. It's when they put the all-day breakfast inside of like one bun so that as soon as you bite it, it's like when they bite into like a dynamite burger in Looney Tunes and like it explodes and then it like blows their hair back and stuff. And then they like open their mouth and then like one of their teeth falls out or something like that. Like this, not like 90%, it wouldn't be me. That's all I'm saying. Good day though, 9 out of 10. That's what I'm saying. If it was good, why would they put 4 kinds of meat in it? If the beef was good, they wouldn't need to put 2 breakfast sausages, 6 pieces of bacon, and whatever else was in it, man. The onion rings on the burger, 1 onion ring on the burger, I'll allow for the crunch, but I'd rather have the rest on the side. You might like Betweenle. You know what? We've been keeping an open mind lately. Betweenle. Guess the secret word between 2 hidden words. Okay? Shark. How do I interpret this? 17% is about 1/6 of the alphabet. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. 4.5 letters before S. Maybe like an O or a P. Let's try something like prize. Okay, we want to go a little earlier than that. 6% is about 1/16. We want to move like a letter and a half. Niece. Okay, now we're 2.1% from the top, so we want to go a little further down. Maybe it's Nunya? Nurse? 1% away. I'm going to guess in that case it's probably early P. Probably like pains. Closer to N. Maybe I guess it's an O word. How about ocean? This, I'm just trying to interpret. It's slightly below ocean, right? It's 0.7% away from ocean, but below. Okay, all right. Omits. Oh, shit. Omega. Yeah, dude. Okay, wait. Betweenle's kind of sick. 5-letter word that contains an L. Cilia. That's a big one today. Finally. 5-letter word that contains S and D. Your mom. Just kidding. Stayed. I'm surprised. 0.71, you fucking nerds. Contains ta. Palks. You guys are fucking nerds. 6-letter word that contains an L. Cilium. Now we're talking. 6-letter word that contains an S and a D. Diocese. Where's the 1 in 200 motherfuckers who are typing diocese? You're not supposed to know what that shit is, man. I'm not supposed to know what that shit is, so how do you know what that shit is? Of a filial quality. 0.65 on filial! Are you serious, man? These are some antediluvian-ass words. Okay, fastidious is going to get a lot here, so we don't rock that. Frankensteined. As in to be turned into a Frankenstein. Frankenstein. My take on this is that this is a word because even if it's not in the dictionary, you know what it means. So it's a word. If I said, oh, that guy, he got Frankenstein, you would say, he died and then his corpse was reanimated with bolts in his neck? And I would say, that's exactly right. We don't need to involve Merriam and Webster in this, in my opinion. We don't need to involve the Oxford University. Frankentaco. A taco made with, okay, that one might be pushing the boundaries a little bit. It's a little obvious, but I feel like frittata is okay. 3.8% on frittata! No! Fajita, sure, but frittata? A lot of people are saying this is the best of all the modern dulls. Not me, but a lot of people. I'm saying under 50 is a blessing. How is this even a dull? Just because it doesn't use words, you don't think it's a dull? It's a randomized small browser game that changes every single day. How is it not a dull, man? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't get it. That's going to hold. That's going to hold. It's going to hold on that one. Oh. What's your biggest old guy trait? You mean besides paying with cash? I don't know. Kate, are you still here? What do you think my biggest old guy trait is? When I shave, I have to shave like the outside of my ears. Why? Because they fucking grow hair on them, dude. Yes! Hating QR code menus, not your virtue signaling. I don't mind the QR code menu. It doesn't bother me that much. You're gonna say, would you rather have QR or paper? I literally don't care. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. You can sure me all you want. I genuinely, like, it doesn't even cross my mind, man. How about a Chinese restaurant that only has a menu up above the cash register, and then the pictures are clearly from like a different restaurant because they have perfect lighting? That's the shit right there, man. surprisingly, well, let's not count our chickens yet, but a devilish start, but a pretty solid finish on that one. We locked in closer to the end. Trying to think of like old guy traits. Burping, going to bed early maybe is an old guy trait. And loving waking up early for sure. I don't know if this is an old guy trait or just a me thing, but like using the hotel coffee maker to make 2 cups of coffee at night and then putting them in the fridge so I have cold coffee in the morning. But that's one that I'll legit say, like, I honestly think it'll buff your quality of life at the hotel if you're a coffee guy. That helps out a lot, man. Because then you start your day immediately. Just get room service? Yeah, why would you like get 2 cups of coffee for free when you could pay like $30 for a carafe of coffee? You know what actually an old guy trait is? And I'm definitely leaning into this and it's a lot of fun. Whenever somebody names a location in the city in which you live, immediately searching your brain for the cross street that it's on. And then going like, oh yeah, that one that's at like Kingsway and Fraser. And then if they go, oh no, it's actually more like it's around Victoria Drive. And you go, oh, over by like the Trout Lake Community Center. And then they go, yeah, like you find something, you go, yeah, okay. I love that, man. I love that shit. I do that all the time. And then, yeah, all the other millennials are like, Grok, can you please navigate to my parents' house? Buddy, I already know how to get there, okay? You got to go to the airport first. They're a long way away. Italians love doing that, but then with wrong directions. Yeah, I've been to New York. They always say shit like, oh, that's the great thing about New York is like it's a grid system. The streets are one way and the avenues are the other way. And then you go, how do I get here? And they give you the directions. Then you walk it and you find out you're in fucking Alphabet City. They don't know how the fuck to get there. You got to open your GPS, man. Okay, so this would be 180. I think you're like a 168. I'm boiling, bro. How about 165? Wait, I moved in the wrong direction. Lock in. 171. Yes! He's actually done it. 400s deaths, 490s births. Bro went Benjamin Button mode. He's a gay poet from Greece. 5th century BC Athenians. Ancient Greek poets. Any chance your ass might be Ovid? Sophocles. Oh, he did all the plays, man. He did all the plays. I'm stupid. All of them? He did the 3 that matter, man. Ovid is Roman anyway. What the fuck? Which ones? Oedipus Rex and like fucking Lysistrata and shit. He did all that shit, man. It's crazy how this dude literally looks like a British football hooligan. Now, do you ever notice that? I feel like 15 years ago we would have been like, nobody looks like this anymore. But I'm like, now, I feel like 1 in 30 people that I see looks pretty much exactly like this. It is Paul Mescal. This dude was in fucking After Sun, bro. Come on, Athens. Yeah, scores. Get some fucking triremes, Athens. Come on, Athens. This sounds like Wanna Be Starting Something by Michael Jackson. Apparently, that's not a big song. Actually, it kind of sounds like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. What do we take those? When I'm about to stop up, don't stop till you get enough. Wonder how Dan feels about Michael Jackson. He's not from 1985, so I don't know. He might not be messing with him. He doesn't like old music like that. He only likes old music like the shit from Rocky IV, which came out 6 years later. Ooh, it's a hell of a beat, man. Ooh, they had that Nile Rodgers shit going on. Wait. Ooh. Got a beautiful voice, man. That motherfucker could sing. I don't know if anybody's ever said this before. That dude could sing. That dude had a great voice. No shit. I didn't say any of the shit that you're typing, okay? Has anyone even come close? People are going to say Freddie Mercury, but I don't know, man. Michael's in a whole different stratosphere. Adele? Man, shut the fuck up. Stupid ass ballad merchant. Call me when Adele writes like fucking PYT or something. Well, I don't know if he wrote it. But either way. Does Adele have any song that's not a ballad? I respect her as a singer. And I mean singer in the strictest sense of the word. You could take it positive or negative. Adam Levine, listen. I'm not fucking with Maroon 5, but that motherfucker can sing. I think if you're saying he's not a good singer, I think you're being dishonest. That doesn't mean that the music is good, but he's a great singer, or at least he has a beautiful voice. His voice sounds fake? No, bro, those are his tattoos. Just because he's evil, you guys are pretending that his voice isn't good. This is why I can't take you seriously, because you don't give me your real opinion. You're like, didn't you see his leaked texts? Yeah, they were cringe. Have you heard his music? I also don't think his music is very good, but the motherfucker can sing. Can we be honest for like the first time in our lives? The dude's got a set of pipes on him, and his voice ain't half bad either. Avril Lavigne clears? Listen, bro, I'm kind of from Greater Napanee, and no, she doesn't. I was going to the Avril Lavigne concerts when she was singing Alison Krauss songs in like the 7th grade, okay? She doesn't have a voice like Adam Levine. I'm telling you, you don't want to go Avril for Avril with me. I got some stories that would bake your noodle. They're not salacious, but it would be like, I mean, they would be very mundane. But I was just going to say, you didn't know her when she was 11, okay? You're going to try to tell me I don't know Avril like you? Listen, buddy. You haven't seen her at the Mary Brown's Chicken in Napanee, okay? That's all I'm saying. Before she got replaced by the body double, listen, I don't know anything about that, okay? I was not the skater boy. I was like 2 years younger, which is an eternity back in the day. If I had to guess, I'd say Avril Lavigne was born in 1986. Can I get a check on that, please? No, 84? Really? 84, damn. She's unk. I didn't know Avril was unk. I do remember, it was like 7th grade, it must have been 8th grade. Complicated came on the radio on the school bus, and everybody was like, holy fucking fuck. That's Avril. Like it was actually like something out of a movie. Like it spread through the whole school bus. People were like, "That's fucking Avril, dude. That's Avril on the radio. Oh shit. Oh, it was like people were cheering, man. It was crazy." She was saying what we were all thinking, man. She was saying, life's like this. Chill out. What you yelling for? We were like, damn, I've been thinking that for years. She finally found a way to put it into words. Yeah, good for her, man. I got nothing against Avril. I don't really know her, to be honest. But I saw her around. She did also say, "You've become." That's true. She was like the original Johnny Silverhand. I like her NTR song. You legit need to like go outside. That's fucking foul, man. You can't be typing shit like that. Like you still got a chance to integrate into society, but you gotta figure that shit out fast. Because you're probably 40 years old. Nah, you're right. They're probably cooked. I was talking about it with Corey because we were complaining about how the building of Costco turns people into animals. I have a theory about why society is degrading lately. My theory is the people who care about social norms are so obsessed with accidentally doing something wrong outside that they're paralyzed. They stay inside as much as possible so they don't accidentally commit a social faux pas, like ordering a mojito at a bar that sells mojitos. Because they've been inundated for like their entire the formative years of their lives by Reddit posts that are like, if you go to a store and you fucking, if I ask you if you need help at the store and you ask me for help, fuck you, fuck you. So they're like, no matter what I do, I'm in trouble. So they try to abstain as much as possible. And that means that like the number of people outside who don't care about getting in other people's way, like the amount of feral human beings that have now descended upon the stores are in like the plurality. Like I said this to Chiblee and I mean it. Being inside of the Costco, to me, makes it apparent, in my opinion, like 10% of the civilization, 10% of people would push a button that kills you if they would get a slice of pepperoni pizza. And not only would they push the button to kill you for $1.50's worth of food, they would also say something like Lamau afterwards. They would be like, what do you expect? It's free food. They wouldn't feel shame at all. It's insane to me. The erosion of empathy for their fellow man. It just seems to be accelerating, man. That's like 700 million people. Yeah, I know. And they're all at the Richmond Costco when I'm there. I'm pressing it. I'm imagining you burning in hell right now. I don't even know what you look like. It's just your username going up in flames. No, I wouldn't push the button, man. Maybe for a Hawaiian slice, but pepperoni, no shot. Too much sodium. I tried the hell imagination technique. It goes crazy. It's actually, haters will say that it makes you mentally ill, but I think it's a great coping mechanism. Whenever someone, like, if it's your family or a friend, you should talk to them. But, like, if it's just a stranger pissing you off and you know it's not worth it, just imagining them burning in hell is unbelievable coping mechanisms. Like, it's amazing, man. I've been doing it for years. I thought I was insane. Well, we're crazy together, brother. What percentage of your day do you imagine someone burning in hell? You sound like when someone gets banned and then a virtue signaler in chat is like, if I were a streamer, I wouldn't ban somebody because it just shows that they're living rent-free in your head. It's not rent-free. As soon as you hit enter, it's over. Like, I don't think about you ever again. Unless you go down to the unban request, and then I love thinking about it because it's like I hold your life in my hands, digitally speaking. It's like, yeah, it's maybe like 30 seconds a day. Somebody cuts me off in traffic and then I imagine like their car just exploding in a fireball. You know, like the kind of like, and the trunk like pops open like a, like in Casino, like a suitcase turns into a rocket ship out of their trunk or something like that. And then I go, that does not sound healthy. It's healthy as fuck. What's unhealthy about it? Because you said it sounds unhealthy, so you must have a reason for saying it sounds unhealthy. So what's your reason? Picturing others dead is no bueno? I didn't picture them dead. I picture them in hell and their car exploding. I never said anything about them dying. That's even worse? Source, your ass? What do you mean it's even worse? You're so annoying? You're so annoying. You're like one step away from saying like watching fiction with bad people makes you a bad person. Fake stoic ass. Meanwhile, like can't get over the fact that somebody butted in front of you at the movie theater like 18 years ago. You're literally like the person who bullied you in middle school. You're still preying on their downfall to this day. And you're saying shit like if someone cuts you off in traffic, you can't imagine their car exploding. Like if that makes you a bad person. That doesn't make me a bad person. You're a bad person for beefing with your 6th grade bully, bro. You're literally beefing with an imaginary 12-year-old. That person doesn't exist anymore. Why am I still hurt then? Wow, the ink is dry. You know, those emotions were coded into your brain like a long time ago. It's not your fault. Wanting other people to suffer is generally not seen as nice. You are so annoying. I don't want them to suffer. I'm taking pleasure from imagining them suffering. I'm taking pleasure from their imaginary suffering. If you gave me a button that said, this will explode their car, would I push it? No, dude. That would make you a fucking psychopath. But it doesn't make you a bad person to imagine their car exploding. You're insane. What are you trying to say? You've never had an impure thought? Pope Leo ass? He died for our fucking sins, bitch. What are you talking about? You're the only pure being on the planet. Show me your search history, motherfucker. That's different. Man, fuck you. Thought Crime Ass, Minority Report, Colin Farrell, Mentat, Samantha Morton, Ron Ass, John Anderton, motherfucker. Sorry, I had it on full auto. Year 17. 1724. How does a tree and creates a healing area on the ground? I lost it. Creates a healing area on the ground. Let me think about this. They just buffed Treant to be able to do damage and heal. Yes, 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 man. Yes, yes, yes. Yum, yum. Whatever happened to her? Interesting to think, man. Imagine being the financial advisor for the person that comes in and is an NPC streamer. And like multiplying your daily income on TikTok in like January 2022 by 365 and I have I've developed excuse me sir, I believe I've developed an infinite money glitch. Gay Bob Dylan saved your career. So true. Gay Bob Dylan be like, it takes a man like you to get through to a man in me. David Guetta playing Nature King. I shoot your guys and summon spores. I am mycelium. That's so true. That's so true. He do be saying stuff like that, man. Hey, now, did you ever have a ska phase? Close. I had a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater phase that coincided with getting Napster. So I was into ska for a little bit, but I was never like a ska guy. And then I know I got it out of my system because this weekend we were adjacent to a park because we were at a kid's birthday party and it was a band playing Take On Me. And there was one middle-aged woman in the audience on the grass skanking, which is not me being misogynist. That's what the dance is called when you listen to ska music. And it pissed me off. I didn't say anything, but it pissed me off. So I was like, I guess I got it out of my system by now. Did she burn in your imagination? No, because she didn't do anything wrong. I recognize that, like that's my own error. So I would not have her burn in my imagination. That seems disingenuous. But if she cut me off in traffic, I might imagine her car exploding. Just got a Monopoly Go ad with Chris Pratt. He's so washed. I can't say what I want to say because my wife and my friend Justin also did a sponsored stream for Monopoly Go. That being said, what's the Chinese mobile game that Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow are repping right now? Not Marvel Rivals. I did a sponsorship for that. It's called like Kingdom of something. Ryan Seacrest Chumba Casino ad. John Lennon ass lyric. This is a Bo Burnham ass lyric now that I think about it, actually. This is more, I wish Apollo was here. He'd be like, oh, unexpected Bo Burnham reference. A Ryan Seacrest Chumba Casino ad. There it is again. That funny feeling. You ever get those Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile ads? Yep. That one, and I don't want to give Ryan Reynolds any undue credit. I at least respect that that's his company. So him doing the ads makes sense to me. Even though I hate him, broadly speaking. He sold it? Okay, then he shouldn't be in the ads anymore. What's your beef with Ryan Reynolds? I don't think that he's a real person, I guess. Like on an intellectual level, obviously I know that he is a real person with values and wants and fears and hopes and stuff like that. But the personality that for 20 years he's been cultivating to curate his public image gives off heavy, like, Hollywood Mr. Beast vibes. Like, I could see him being the sort of guy that could make a joke that's like a wink and a nod about ejaculating, but I don't think I could ever imagine him saying the word cock. Like a handsome Michael Scott type energy. And also, as far as I'm concerned, apart from Deadpool, which is a good character actor fit for him, his job as an actor is just to be in commercials. And then, like, be himself. I feel like he's perhaps... And I don't know him in person, But the avatar that he projects to the world, willfully and deliberately, it gives off huge, like, I'm an NPC vibes. Not NPC in like a I disagree with him sort of ways, but NPC in the sense that he strikes me as like an inauthentic person. He strikes me as like a chat GPT prompted and 3D printed celebrity endorsement. Professional Schiller guy designed to be like completely non-threatening and sell you products. Yes, I consider him steeped in artifice. I could be wrong. He could do a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It would do a lot to bring him back. But what does he give a shit about me? He shouldn't. He shouldn't. Yes, I'm trying to say he seems neurotypical. How did the slide call go? I don't want to talk about it. I'm still linking and building. Suffice it to say, without getting too into it, we talked for like 30 minutes, and the person I talked to was very nice, but they did seem resistant to the idea that I could just pay for a slide. And their reasoning was, if you just let people pay to put equipment in public parks, then parks in wealthier areas would be overserved and parks in less wealthy areas would be underserved. And my position was, I get that, but if you don't let people donate to build equipment, then nobody's gonna get the equipment. And she said, and this is, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, yes, but you could possibly donate to build equipment in parks that have a bigger need. And my position was kind of like, yeah, but I don't live there and I want to take my kid to the slide. So we it was a very cordial conversation, but I will say we did talk around each other for a while. They also said, if you're interested, we're selling the naming rights to like the new Kitsilano pool. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. But in my head, I was like, she did not do the research because I'm not in that kind of bracket. You got to talk to Chip Wilson, the CEO of Lululemon, about that because I'm not. I don't know how much you're asking for it, but I don't think I'm putting out to be the sponsor of the new Kitsilano pool. I'm pretty sure it's going to cost like $15 million to build or something like that. But they seemed open to the idea. They're literally, it's the most serious of a person I ever felt like. They were like, we have like capital funding projects for the playgrounds. And I was like, yeah, I get that. I work in a serious industry. So I was like, send me the PDFs and I'll take a look at them. And then we'll see if there's something we can work on. But I was insinuating, I was like, if hypothetically we were able to fundraise like for a slide, could we just get the slide built? And I believe that she very nicely told me like, that's not likely, but we'll see, unfortunately. But I think the thing that maybe I failed to get across was that it's not like I'm trying to add like an awesome playground to a park that doesn't have it at the expense of the rest of the city. I just want them to fix the slide that's been broken for like years. It's like the slide's already there. The argument that's like, but hey, in some parks they don't even have a broken slide that you can't use. So like you should be grateful. I don't know if it really works. But could do guerrilla urbanism. The thing is though, like if I do guerrilla urbanism and then a kid like falls off the slide and dies, like I'm gonna feel a lot of guilt, and B, like that'll be the end of that. Unfortunately, like I also resent that liability is like such a big deal, but I don't want to be the guy taking all the risk of the liability. It's true. I did also already kind of like tip my hand too. They'll be like, hey, you know anything about that gorilla slide that got installed the exact place that you wanted to install a slide? I mean, I guess they would still need proof, but like, I don't, you know. That's true, you could just put an end user license agreement on it. That's what can I be honest with you? I don't know if this is legally binding, but anytime I go to like a a tourist attraction or something where I have to sign a waiver that says like, if you die, you can't sue us. I'm like 100%. If I die, like I'm telling my family in advance to sue you for everything you got. I don't think that shit is legally binding, man. If I'm going to like a dolphin park and a dolphin drowns me, I don't think they can be like, well, he signed this piece of paper. I'm gonna be like, bro, you got Tillicum here. You got the blackfish. You're going down. You can't run your business like that. It doesn't make any sense. I'm signing the waiver, but I'm kind of doing it with like my fingers crossed. Is this just RimWorld but good? Yeah, I would say that's more. It's kind of like, what if Factorio was good? It's Factorio, but for smart people. RimWorld is good. Bet. Heavy Gen X energy. Don't mind me, I'm just imagining your car exploding. See, and then it's literally victimless, man. Like I'm not even impressed by it at all. It doesn't hurt me that you're imagining my car exploding. Why would I care? If you put a bomb in my car, I'd be omega pissed. If you're just imagining me suffering or whatever, okay, whatever helps you get through the day, man. I think you need plots that do something. Dude, it's not my fault. They give you a higher difficulty level, but then they're doing the Rogue Legacy thing where it's like, well, you can't do the higher difficulty level until you win 30 times on the lower difficulty level because you don't have the perks unlocked. You need to have the perks unlocked, but I don't want to play on the lower difficulty level because we already beat the lower difficulty level. Why would I want to grind on, like, Prince difficulty when we're already on Duke? I don't mind shooting bows at my French and English foes. I can't feed on the caramels when a pup's already... What is a pup cup? That's something I've been asking. There are a lot of millennials these days, like, ordering pup cups in Starbucks. It's a whipped cream in a cup. This whole time I thought it was literally like a glass of water. It's whipped cream in a cup for dogs. Sometimes they put a treat on top of it. I thought the whipped cream was the treat though. I guess it's a dog treat is a little different now that I think about it. Dog culture's out of hand. I don't mind it, man. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, I saw a Reddit post that was on like r/psychology or something, and it was like studies show that owning a dog conjures many of the same emotions as I was gonna say owning a child. As having a child. And I was like, yeah, no shit. Not to be like anti-intellectual, but like how much funding did you get for that study, man? Owning a child. Things I used to do in video games. People will come into my store and order $5 of ice cream with a dog treat on top, and I'm like, yerp. But that's like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like, what's the problem? Or maybe you're not saying there's a problem. Maybe you're saying like, it's cool. Dogs shouldn't eat ice cream? I don't know anything about that. I'm not like a dog nutritionist. Should people even be eating ice cream? Yes, dude. The fruits of this world were placed here for us to enjoy. If not us, then who? And dogs. Yeah, maybe dogs. I don't want to say it because it's going to bum people out, but I think you're very real for that. You said they live for 10 years, let them have the ice cream. That's true, man. That's true, and I mean that in a dog positive way. That's like if a person is like 80 years old, you should just let them like do whatever they want. Not anything criminal within reason. But if they're like 80 and they're like, I want to drink whiskey, I'm like, you can't, it's bad for you. Like you're 80, man. There's not much downstream to like cause problems. I'm not saying there's no damage. I'm just saying like, we're not making it out alive. Let's put it that way. When you're 80, will you start doing heroin? No, man. But like, mostly just because like I don't want to. It's not like I really like want to do it right now. But I'm like, oh, the long-term health ramifications. I'm like, no, dude, being addicted to drugs seems like being in the sunken place in Get Out. Like it seems pretty bad. Not to be controversial. But I mean, like the life of someone who's addicted to heroin, like the lifestyle doesn't seem appealing to me. It's not like my age that's holding me back. It's like, you know, going outside in the city that I live in the Pacific Northwest. It seems pretty dire. Smoking cigarettes is an aura buff. Nah, not really. I can't. The millennial in me, which is what I am, I can't say that. There's a lot of negative stuff about millennials. It's particularly elements of millennial culture. I wouldn't disagree with that. But like, there's some positive things about millennials, man. We almost like killed big tobacco companies until we also brought them back by buying a bunch of like orally inserted tobacco products, I guess. I don't know if that's predominantly millennials or if that's mostly Gen Z, because Gen Z's like they're getting as old as millennials these days, but all tobacco products are orally inserted. All right, you're crazy for that one, Unc, but you're not wrong. What about patches? Those aren't tobacco products. Those are nicotine delivery services, bro. It's not like you put a patch on your arm and then light it. Not really a fair comparison, I guess. There's nasal stuff. I don't know, man. I'm a millennial. We don't mess with that stuff. We mostly just messed with Harry Potter back in the day. And like a lot of binge drinking. I can't deny that. Which is worse? I don't know. I feel like it doesn't matter. They're both bad. You probably... Listen, I know I said ice cream is a treat that you should eat, but you probably shouldn't be doing either. But that's just me virtue signaling. Heroin and candy are basically equivalent. You're Redditor posting, man. Every 2 weeks on Reddit, there's a huge post that's like, what's the hardest addiction to kick? And then the top comment is always like some 42-year-old ex-opioid addict that's like, it's heroin by a mile. And then like the second comment is some 15-year-old kid that's like, sugar and caffeine. Or phones. They do always put phones up there. They're right. They're not right. They're not right at all, man. Alcohol straight up kills you if you quit cold turkey. Yeah, but my boss is a little grumpy sometimes if they haven't had their coffee. The weekly Reddit caffeine rant. Well, I just feel like they don't know what they're talking about. Source, I'm a tea drinker. Don't even get me started on the faux superiority of the tea drinkers, man. Coffee's so bad for you. Oh, coffee. They talk about coffee like it's a hard drug, like it's literally poison. Then they're drinking like 8 cups of tea a day, thinking that it's like, your shit don't stink. Well, lean a little bit closer, bro. Roses really smell like doot. Star Wars prequels or sequels? Nah, I'm not doing this again. I'm smart enough to not do this again. It's prequels by a mile. At least we can all agree on that, but I think we agree for different reasons. The prequels have the DNA of the Star Wars creator on display. The sequels are a Bob Iger wet dream. Do you want art or content? Well, if the content's bad and the art is bad, I'll take the art. If the art is bad and the content's awesome, maybe we could have a discussion. But luckily it's Star Wars, so we don't have to worry about that. Episode 7 versus Episode 1 is a good debate. I disagree with you on that one. It's not a good debate because it's about Star Wars. Also, in spite of what I said, The Force Awakens mogs The Phantom Menace. Sadly, and I'm loath to say it, but The Force Awakens does mog The Phantom Menace. But I think we already, we knew that. We knew that going in here. It mogs A New Hope too? Let's not go crazy. It is A New Hope. Is it gonna be Bush Summer? Careful, I'm about to have like the most base take of all time. I was gonna say we need to normalize body hair, but that's not fair because I think that everybody's kind of like on the same page there. So I would call that a virtue signal for myself. The reason I want to say we normalize body hair is because I have a lot of it and it's very annoying to shave or wax it, or like people will literally, hairless people will say some shit like, why don't you just go to a place where they zap every single follicle with a huge laser and then just like repeat that every 4 weeks for 2 years and then you won't have to worry about it anymore. I'm like, buddy, that's like getting an associate's degree and having a hairless chest. Like, that's a serious undertaking, man. You can trim it at least? Yeah, but this shit is irritating and takes a long time and leaves a lot of mess on the floor. Like, I'm literally out here with a broom like Artie Bucco if he ran a barbershop instead of a restaurant. Green text arrow, normalized body hair. Green text arrow is bald. Simple question. How smart are you? Like, what's your IQ? I'm not asking like what level of college you've completed because that's more of like a question of your parental net worth. But like when you do IQ tests and you complete them, do you give them your credit card number to like buy the full report? IQ tests are a question of parental privilege. Just say you scored low, bro, okay? This kind of discourse is embarrassing you. Isn't it inherently low IQ to pay for the test after you complete it? The joke understander is logged on. Sorry, that's not... I don't mean to be rude. I just temporarily forgot which website I'm on. You did mean to be rude? It's rude not to get my joke and then repeat the premise back to me. That's rude as fuck, bro. You could just, like, not get it and laugh. That's what I do when I don't get a joke that's supposed to be funny. Did you see China is going through with their own Rizzler initiative? Librarian, can I get a cliff notes on this? I think every nation should have its own Rizzler. The Rizzler is like, I don't know if I'm using the word properly. I feel like he's a scion of 2020's culture. Is a scion like a symbol of accomplishment or progress? It's this kid. Okay, I hate to go to X. Is it even going to let me see this on X.com? Because I'm not logged in, bro. This is absolutely how everyone should feel music. And then, like, it's just a spinning circle? Oh, jeez. But he's not... Is this really this is Chinese Rizzler? He has not, there's, the only thing related to him being the Rizzler is that he's like a chubby kid. But like, kids that age are just chubby for the most part. Also, who the fuck is going to, like, this is such cringe content, man. Kid dancing to music from X account, wholesome side of X. This is absolutely how everyone should feel music. Clap emoji, crying, laughing emoji. Middle-aged brain rot, man. Ignore the source. It's just what Twitter is now? Well, listen, it's always been pretty bad, but it did get a lot worse. But millennials, don't call that millennial slop, man, okay? First off, all generations are suffering the scourge of short-form video content becoming the dominant form of content consumption these days. But, like, as someone who willfully tries to at least curate part of my media diet these days, this is crazy, man. You know this is all, like, bot-posted, AI-generated videos, right? This is not just millennials. This is everybody. Shorts got me. But like, what do you, I kind of, let's pretend I'm coming at this discussion in good faith. What's the appeal of the short videos? You get to watch more videos. I can't really argue with that. They're not long. Are you acting elitist because you don't have the free time to scroll? No, not at all. Anytime I see like an adult choosing to engage with short form video content for like more than a 5-minute interval, I actually see it as like maybe this is the thing that's going to end society, or at least it's going to be like one signpost on the way. You post shorts though? Yeah, I know, it's fucked up. I can't disagree with that. They said the same thing about video games. Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps getting worse. They might have been right. And I do both. That's true, so I would know. Listen, I have an elitist aura, and it's a character flaw. But at the same time, that doesn't mean it's always wrong. What I'm trying to say, the way I look at it, and this is, I'm smart enough to recognize that this makes me look like an asshole because it's an asshole thing to say. And maybe this is just how you know I've always been me. I remember first grade, second grade, we had a library in our class, right? You could choose your books that you would take home to read and then bring back to school like a couple of days later. And everyone was always taking the books that have the prettiest pictures. And even in the second grade, I was like, what are you doing? These are books, bro. Why are they're pages with words on them that tell a story, and you're like, I want to get the ones with the prettiest pictures so that I have less words to read. I'm like, the words are the reason you're reading it, man. That's the same way I feel when when I see adults, especially like older adults, that are just scrolling for hours on their phone. What are you doing, man? Like, you're trying to speed run meaning. You're like, why would I watch one movie when instead I could watch 300 shorts. Well, like the one movie is like an atom bomb of meaning potentially, and the shorts are just nothing, man. The shorts is just habitual. There's like no merit in them, except for maybe you laugh a little bit at mine because they're funny, but when you're 70, you're going to start watching shorts? I don't think you're going to see it happen, man. You could be watching Cedar Rapids 2011. Any chance that ballistas can ride on top of... I mean, this says troop. And this says can be mounted by adjacent troops. Holy shit. I mean, I'm getting like, 2 hours of screen time a day, but at least it's like an episode and a half of Italian-American brain rot. And then like 30 minutes of getting pissed off at Reddit while I shit, but that has like a hard cap of like 30 to 45 minutes, and then I'm out. Then I'm back in Polly Walnuts territory. Does streaming not count? I mean, we talk about screen time, we're talking about it like in a virtue versus vice sort of way. Like, I think if you went to your doctor and you were like, I have 2 hours of screen time a day, and he said, oh, really? But you work on a computer? I would be like, Doc, that's not the same thing. I think I would say, Doc, you're being needlessly glib. Chat is kind of short text, now that I think about it. You guys are like book shorts. And you scroll, it's true. I mean, I guess, like, I shouldn't be surprised. But when I'm on Reddit... I know that I was on Twitter, and Twitter was like fentanyl. And I got off of Twitter, and it stuns me that many of you are still on it, but let's not worry about that. Maybe you're getting sick parlay advice from like a 12-year-old with ChatGPT Pro. I got on Reddit. Reddit is like methadone. It's harm reduction. It's better than being on fentanyl. But I also logically recognize it would probably be better to like look at the sunrise instead of being on Reddit. But for right now, it's like a stepping stone that I'm comfortable with. I do feel like the YouTube shorts are kind of like, you know that mushroom, that fungus that colonizes ant brains, and it makes the ant like climb up really high and shit like that, and the whole time the ant is going like it's trying to get the control back from the mushroom, but then it goes like, and it just keeps climbing higher until eventually it dies and explodes, spreading the spores as far as it possibly can. That's how I feel the short form video, that's what it's doing to you, because right now you're going, actually shorts are awesome. You're not even acknowledging like that they're harmful in any capacity. You're saying stuff like, life is hard, let me watch shorts. Can we at least start by agreeing that this stuff is like, you're putting your brain in the microwave and using inverter turbo defrost, aka it doesn't turn off till it's done. All right, well, then we start with an agreed upon truth, and then we can see each other for who we are, and we can find some common ground from there. The greatest generation said the same thing about movies. All right, dude, and then you sound like a Web 3.0 guy. You know, they tried to kill Thomas Edison for inventing the light bulb. Okay, change the world then, bro. Maybe shorts will change the world for the better. But like, they've said that shit about like billions of people, a lot of whose inventions actually sucked ass. That's not an argument. That's an argument via comparison. You can do it, like it's not that serious. I'm just asking you to meet me in the middle. And the middle is that shorts have been invented to dumb down human society. I don't know why. I guess it's not like a big conspiracy thing. I guess it's because it makes money to publish the shorts then. And they take advantage of like a backdoor vulnerability in the human brain. That's like the next video is going to be the one. It's like gambling for content. It's like the I'm feeling lucky button from Google on steroids. Look up Skinner box. That's bait. It's not bait, it's real. No, I mean it's bait for like a 15-year-old to tell me to look up something that everybody learns about in like the 7th grade. That's the bait part. Anyway, keep watching my shorts though. Keep watching my shorts because I just turned on monetization on them. I didn't have monetization on them for like maybe like a year. But stop watching all the ones of the of the street food, man. I know I keep banging the drum on the street food stuff, but I'm like, damn, how many videos of street food do you have to watch? Haven't you seen them all by now? Like, it seems to me it's getting a little insane. Yours do really good numbers, though. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's probably going to end now that, like, this video is going to get turned into a short. People are going to be like, wait, he's insulting the customer. I don't know. Some people are into it. Are you guys familiar with Findom? I get Insta Reels of you. You shouldn't be watching those. Because I'm not posting anything on Instagram. So I think that you guys that's basically stealing from me. You're not stealing, but you're an accessory after the fact, I suppose. Oh, it's Librarian's fine. Librarian's okay. Actually, truth be told, it's all fine. I don't really care. I get TikToks of you where you've got feminine devil filters on you. Is a feminine Eminem like a Rizzler the Sizzler eating Twizzlers? I'm okay with that too. That's transformative, bro. Are there any short form editors here? Let's link and build. Chiblee, I've been asking people to link and build, and it's a great stim. I love saying it. But I will say, anybody I say it to, basically, they give me the vibe immediately of wanting me to fuck off and die. Nobody wants to work these days. They don't want to link and build with me. Nobody wants to be the chief purchaser of my booster juice, man. Chiblee, do you get offended when I ask you if you want to be the general manager of my booster juice franchise? I'm not suggesting that you're a bad streamer and should change careers. I'm just suggesting it would be sick to have you manage a booster juice, man. I don't know. It could be, you'd seem like you'd be good. You'd be like, you'd interface with the employees, but also be affable to the customers, man. You own a booster juice? Nah, but I've been thinking about it. But I think it's not very smart. In the sense that, like, there's, like, risk involved. I think it would be great for you to do once you retire. Yeah, but it's not really like a retirement. That's just, you're just getting a new job, which is running a booster juice. I should invest in a electric vehicle battery facility. I should invest in a facility where they make lithium batteries for electric sport utility vehicles. That's probably a growth industry, man. Can I interest you in an Italian restaurant named Vesuvio's? Dude, low key, I know the restaurant industry is like really risky, but if you were independently wealthy from being like a consultant in the waste management industry, being a silent partner in a restaurant would be possibly the largest aura boost that you could have as a middle-aged man. Tell me what's a bigger aura boost than being like finishing your workday and just walking into your restaurant, giving everybody a handshake, and then like somebody like pulls out a table for you or a chair at the table and sits you down and puts like a napkin in your lap, puts a bottle of wine on the table, like uncorks it. That's so aura rich. Watching shorts makes you want to mouth tape. Watching The Sopranos makes you want to open a booster juice. Low key, I think that's real. I think the reason I've started giving people cash tips and speaking my mind more often is because I'm digesting too much Tony Soprano content just by watching the show. You can't help but be affected by the stuff you consume, man. Like, how many people out there watching this right now have ever had a friend tell them they talk too much like me? I'm sure it happens. We should all learn from Chiblee. What did Chiblee say? He said, just joking around, got caught trolling. Okay, you can't be saying that, chat. And by chat, I mean Chiblee. You can't be saying that. It was relevant to the conversation. Chiblee, do you think you're like a bad person if somebody cuts you off in traffic? You don't do anything to them, but you gleefully imagine their car exploding? I sort of don't understand how that makes you a bad person. And whenever I ask them to specifically explain why it makes you bad, they always say something like, normal people don't do that. And I'm like you would know, buddy. Yeah, they always say that's concerning. I'm concerned. Isn't that bad for your mental health? I don't know, dude. You're the video essay addict. Why don't you tell me? No video essays, no shorts. What am I allowed to watch that doesn't cook my brain? Media with a story, bro! Media with a story! Media with a start, a beginning, an end. Rich characters that interact with each other and change them and are changed by them. Stuff with an arc and a climax and a denouement. Chiblee says, I have a 445 deadlift. People aren't going to believe that, but that's actually true. I've seen him do it. He did it in the back of my booster juice, where we're thinking about opening an old-fashioned powerlifting gym. Chiblee, do you want to be the general manager of my powerlifting gym? Yes, sir. Goated business idea. Chiblee, if I bought a truck and a pressure washer, would you like to be an hourly employee who drives around and pressure washes shit? But then, like, the company is the one that invoices the customer, and then you get payroll from the company? Yes, sir. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Not even salary? Buddy, it's a pressure wash company, okay? Let's be real. I have a new meta, tinting house windows. Okay, I know, like, there's a chance that might be the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. But I also feel like I'm stupid, and I think you might have come up with the greatest idea of all time. A house with tinted windows kind of sounds fucking sweet. That's kind of an awesome idea, man. They've been doing that? Well, it clearly hasn't gone viral yet because I haven't heard about it. Let's link and build this summer, man. Can you tint a window, or do you need to, like... I've never really known what... I don't know how things work in the world, I'll just be honest with you. It's a film that you put on a window. Okay. I didn't know if when they say tint the windows, they actually, like, replace the glass with darker glass or something. Science World has that? Yeah. Right next to the Tree of Illness, where little kids go inside of that tree trunk and pick their nose and then wipe it all over it. And anytime you go inside of it, 2 days later, you're like, why is my throat sore? I know exactly what you're talking about with the Science World windows. I think you might be onto something with tinted house windows, Chiblee. Especially if you can sell it as, like, environmentally friendly, because it's a lie, but it'll make people feel good. You, like, won't have to use your AC as much because it's going to make your house cooler. And you could be like, every house with tinted windows is the equivalent of, like, planting 7 trees or something like that. That's a great idea, dude. Low-key, I think you might actually be onto something, man. It's not a lie? Well, that's the best kind of lie, then. I will be stealing this idea. Buddy, get a mat, okay? We'll draw up a map. Chiblee and I, we're gonna take the lower mainland. We can't do more than that, okay? I don't want to run a multinational house window tinting company. I'll settle for the lower mainland, man. I'm not greedy. Should we buy a Ford Transit and get it started? Dude, it's actually, like, low-key, it's not a bad idea, though. Plus, it would be such good defense for me. Because whenever someone says, real job, I could be like, oh yeah, I gotta make some serious calls about my house window tinting business later today, just so you know. I got a lot of stress. Just for your information, not that it's any of your business, but I have to fire Chiblee later today. Not that that's any of your motherfucking business. Chiblee's getting too big for his britches. He wants to be the CTO. He's gotten too ripped from the powerlifting gym. Man, owning, like, a real business must be kind of crazy. Also, this is like a real question, because I don't know anything about, like, immigration law. If I own the business, like a booster juice, for example, can I just be like, hey, this guy's gonna work at my booster juice? Let him into the country? Can I, like, just... Is opening a business like a loophole to just get all your friends legal rights to reside in your country? They're not going to be like, why don't you just hire a Canadian citizen to work the booster juice, and I'm going to be like, my boy's cracked at buying mangoes or something? He's actually insane at buying fruits and vegetables. He's like the Rain Man of produce purchasing. I got to think about this house window tinting idea. Because a lot of the smartest ideas ever have been mocked for actually being stupid. Why wouldn't people just buy pre-tinted windows? It's too late, bro. They already live in the house. After doing some research, it kind of exists, but I believe we could take over the market. Can you do me a favor? Can you Google Vancouver house tinting businesses and tell me how many hits you get? Like, phones existed before Steve Jobs made the Apple, but like still, he did it better or something. I don't know. It's got rounded corners. You ever tinted a house window? It's a pain in the ass. That's Chiblee's problem. I'm going to stop you right there. That's something Chiblee needs to figure out. That's not for me. There's 9 pages of them on Yelp. Oh, brother. 9 pages of house tinters in Vancouver? Oh, shit. There's 5 downtown alone. Oh, Jesus. 8 of them went up today. I knew you shouldn't have said anything, man. You know what? Chiblee, you know what we do? We'll roll them up. We'll roll them up. Window tint removers. I don't really know what that means to roll them up, but I think like it's worth considering. Or Chiblee, hear me out before. What if we started a business tinting car windows? Yeah, no one's ever thought of that one. I'm not really passionate about like anything. I just think like we should start a business of some sort. It just seems like it's swag to like own a business. Like, you know what would be a huge aura buff, Chiblee? I'm sure you're thinking about the same thing. Getting a phone call and then telling someone, sorry, I gotta take this. Like, I bet that shit goes hard. Even, or like, you could even like be on an appointment with someone, but then your phone rings and you go, hang on, I gotta take this. I bet that's fucking sweet. I've never been in a situation like that. Sometimes I open the stock market app on my phone while I'm sitting in the cafe. That's so real, man. That's so relatable, man. Waiting to pick up my kid from daycare, opening up like Google Finance. Like people are gonna be like, wow, this guy must be he must be a stockbroker. This guy must like work for a hedge fund or something like that. Buy, 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 sell, sell, buy, 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 sell, buy, sell. Dude, Chiblee, I can't tell. I need you. This is why you're my business manager. I need you to tell me if this idea that Chad has is awesome or horrible. Prescription glass windshield for your car so you don't need to wear glasses while you drive. It could be sick, man. It could be sick. And of course they're tinted. Yeah, that goes without saying. That wouldn't even work. Well, I'm sure you'd have to like, you know, change the prescription or whatever. Like you'd have to adjust or like move your seat up or something, but like I think it could work, man. You got the boys in the damn lab. Like a transition lens for your car. Or dude, you get the prescription windshield for your car. I can't say it with a straight face. The prescription windshield for your car, and then if it's a sunny day, you get the clip-on sunglasses on top of it. This wouldn't work. I'm an optician. How could it not work? I get that you have to change the lens because like it's not right up against your eye, but how could it not work, man? It's just light. It's just optics. What if you move slightly? Well, I hope so. You're driving. How would you read the speedometer? Prescription gauge cluster. What if you just made the whole world your prescription instead of just your glasses? Your windshield would be like 20 grand. Yeah, but you wouldn't need to wear glasses when you were in your car. Did you think about that? Bet not. Good deal. What about your passengers? They could get you. So if you could have like a pair of glasses in the cup holder that cancels out the prescription of the windshield, so that when they wore them, it would look like they were looking through like just a normal glass windshield. I don't think you guys get. You're focusing a lot on the reasons it wouldn't work, and not a lot on the reasons that it would work, which is it would be sick to not have to wear glasses in your car. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is like what the real benefit is, because you have to like wear glasses everywhere else. So like you still have to bring them in the car with you. And if you got to bring glasses somewhere, it's like really convenient to just kind of put them on your face. You sort of forget that they're there. I don't know, man. You got me thinking about this. Prescription car windshield might be the play. You can now see your nose. Man, fuck you. You lost the game. We gotta think of something at least. I think tinting house windows might be the play, but it would also be sick if you just wanna like, that's fine. If you just wanna like work for like $15 an hour at my power washing company that I don't even own. Prescription shower? I don't really know what that means, but it's an interest. I love a business idea that's just two words that like already mean something, but then put together in a new way. Reusable ice cream. You know what? Reusable ice cream goes crazy. Let's link and build this summer. Prescription monitor. Dude, that would be so sick too, because everything outside of the scope of the monitor would be blurry, so you could really lock in. Prescription monitor. Any opticians in chat? What about gift shirts? Damn, I think, honestly, I feel like the technology, if it had been invented in like 2012, gift shirts would have gone insane. But I just think like the culture has moved past it now. Okay, I'm... Take whatever, quick restart. No, I don't want to wage war on anybody. I think I shouldn't have put my palace there, dude. I made horrible mistakes. Yeah, let me out! I'm pressing the escape button. You legally have to let me see an options menu. It's called wearable technology. It's a big thing. Is it a big thing, or is it just like MKBHD? Were you an Arduino head at any point? I don't know what it is. Those are little... They're Raspberry Pi adjacent, right? They're little controllable motors. No, I'm that guy who like really doesn't understand how any kind of engineering technology works. I basically think that it's all... I'm trying to think about how to describe it. Like, I'm like an atheist who thinks that technology works via like divine right. Like it's God's will, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Machine spirits, yes. So if you have a car and it has, like, I don't know how heavy gas is relative to water, but I'm gonna guess that, like, functionally, from a human perspective, it's very similar. If you have a 50-liter gas tank and you fill up your car from zero, your car is roughly 50 kilograms heavier. True or false? True. We don't even need to wait for an answer. If you have an electric car and you take it from 0% battery to 100% battery, how much heavier is it? Because electrons have mass, right? It's a few grams heavier. It's like people don't like when I say this, but I think if you're like me, you'll understand that we're gonna lose again. You'll understand this take. Your car drives different when it's got a full gas tank. It just feels like it's like the difference between being Mario in Mario Kart and being Donkey Kong in Mario Kart. It drives different. I don't know, it's like a little heavier. But also, like, it's got a little bit more zip, too. It's gotta be the same for an electric car, because they're both cars. Should I buy this or Star Vaders? You know what would be a sick game? Scrandle for games. Where it shows you a game and the price of the game, and then you choose which game is more Scran. And it costs $9.99 every time you play it, and Chiblee could be the webmaster. Does Chiblee need a job? I think he's chilling, but like, I don't know. He's the only motherfucker that wants to link and build these days, man. Doesn't Justin want to stop streaming? I don't think he wants to stop streaming. I think he wants to keep streaming, but he's like worried that it's not going to last forever, which is like very fair. I've been there myself. You could stream the window tinting. Low key, it does seem kind of sick to like run a landscaping company and then videotape yourself like cutting people's grass. That seems kind of sick. I'd rather play video games, I guess, but it does seem kind of sick. Is it possible to make a stock market on streamers' viewership day to day and we bid on it being bearish or bullish? Yeah, it's possible. It's not like, I mean, have you seen some of the shit that they're doing with code? Like, you can do anything, man. Do I want you to do it? You can do whatever you want. Just leave me the fuck out of it, man. I don't want that. That's like the same energy as me being like, hey, let's do a prop bet on whether this random person is going to get like a life-threatening illness in the next 10 years. I don't want that shit. That's horrible. Because the Ouroboros of the content regurgitation always goes in the same direction. This would be a cool idea for a gimmick. Wow, this is a lot of fun. One person with mental illness starts taking it way too seriously. Reddit essays. And I'm really happy that right now the Reddit is like essay proof because it's all jokes. It's a dream come true. So I'm doing whatever I can to hold it at this part of the cycle, but like with a little bit of inoculation as long as possible. Reddit essay son or Discord essay daughter. Hold on. We make these. Discord essay daughter, I think. Because a Discord essay daughter is more based because they didn't order attention, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They recognize that they are just basically venting and they don't need affirmations from others they don't need affirmations from thousands of others to make it work. They just need like the 3 people that are always in MISC to be like, wow, that sounds hard. So I think that's nobler, at least. Plus, like, I mean, posting your grievance on a spot where it gets like a lot of attention and stays there for a day is annoying as the person often being criticized. Posting it in the middle of what essentially is like an endless scroll is much better because it just goes away after like, you know, a few minutes or an hour or whatever. Judge Holden's son or Anton Chigurh daughter. That's tough, man. The thing is, Judge Holden is like, he's the devil, basically. So I think you have to go with Anton Chigurh daughter. I think it would kind of suck ass, but you definitely, like, I'm pretty sure that Judge Holden is like the corporeal form of pure malevolence. Whereas Anton Chigurh is a sociopath and a psychopath, without a doubt. But there is like an element of humanity somewhere in there. He doesn't seem like he necessarily takes pleasure in the work that he does. He just has a clinical drive to do it as perfectly as possible. That's tough, though. It's a good question. Fuck you for asking. It's a good-ass question. Judge Holden is bald, though? I was literally about to say, how would you know that it's a book? And then I had like Homer Simpson in my head saying, books can contain descriptions of physical features. Are the shirts of yours online? Like, do you get a cut? No, those are all set up by hustle bro teenagers. That being said, I morally absolve you. If you see a t-shirt on Redbubble, I am going to let you know it's probably going to be, as someone who's owned some Redbubble shirts, it's probably going to be insanely shitty quality. So, like, know that in advance. But if you really want to buy a shirt with like with my logo on it or something, and you can only find it on Redbubble, you can, man. I don't think, you know, there's anything wrong with you doing it. So you give permission to fan artists to make merch? I don't give you permission, but I'm not gonna stop you. Is that like, I'm not going to give you my endorsement, but I'm not gonna be like, here's a cease and desist, stop doing that. I'm not gonna do that. Well, that slash marker 9 kings. It might be enough 9 kings for now. Let me tell you, I think the game is good. I really like the game. I played like 7 hours of it. I have kind of hit the point where there's so many characters and so many difficulty levels to unlock, and you're supposed to grind the difficulty levels to get more perks to have a better chance to beat a difficulty level on a king, where you haven't beaten the difficulty with the king, but you've beaten the difficulty with another king. Like, it's just... You know what I mean? I feel like it could be streamlined a little bit. It's too hard. Well, the other thing is I don't always know, like, why I'm losing. Like in Worditro, if I lost, which I wouldn't because I'm one of the best to ever do it, I know why I'm losing. It's because I'm playing decoded words. But in this, I'm like, for like the first 12 days, I'm like, I'm crushing it. And then day 13, like 17 dudes make it into my palace. And I'm like, well, I can't really change anything at this point. I think you need more perks in general. My only problem, like, and this is not, I still think it's a good game. I still think it's probably my favorite game ever made. This is how I have to talk about season 2 of The Rehearsal before telling people that I actually found the second half of this season kind of bereft of payoff, even though they took a really ambitious swing, which I respect. I didn't really find it poignant or humorous. It's probably the best game I've ever played. I probably like it more than you do. That being said, I don't know, a little grindy. It was cruel, not funny. It was cruel and funny, but I thought season 1 was a lot better. I would probably give season 2 of The Rehearsal an 8, which is still really good. And I thought that it was an 11. For episodes 1 through 3, I thought that it was an 11. Then I thought that 4, 5, and 6 lost me a little bit. Yeah, it's like, the thing, I guess grindy was not the word that I wanted to use. I do prefer my roguelikes to not require, like, I don't mind unlocking new items. In fact, I enjoy unlocking new items. But I don't like when you need to play a lot to get like a 10% boost to HP, starting with more items, 10% boost to damage, etc., etc. Like I don't like that. I do. It's not every game can do it, and I understand that. I prefer the elegance of the design philosophy, which is like you can basically. There's no artificial headwinds that are stopping you on your first run. Because otherwise, it's very easy for me to be like, well, I didn't really lose because my run sucked. I lost because I didn't have good perks, and I don't have the drive to go back and grind like lower difficulties to unlock the perks just to get a 30% DPS bonus like flat across the board. But I might also be misrepresenting it, but is that the last we see of it? Probably because of the fact that we're talking about the game mechanics, which is boring, instead of cool stuff like business ideas that are totally going to work. Let me see if my wife is ready to stream. Please play more repo. I can't. It makes me want to throw up for some reason. There's a setting. I have it on. It doesn't work. Lethal then? I think people are just kind of played out. Chiblee knows what it's like. Our friends, we got like 5 people that stream games with us now. And like, if one of them is doing stuff, that's just it, man. Like we're at that position now in our network, which I've heard is your net worth, that like everybody has to be in or we can't get the lobby going anymore. I imagine it's what it's like if you're like the only unmarried guy in your high school friend group chat. You're probably like, damn, nobody wants to like go to the board game cafe with me at 10 p.m. on a Friday. They're all waking up early and like going for a hike or something. People used to link and build, man. It's true. Not even just in the summer. It was like year round. Now you got to like make a special event and shit. I got off work yesterday at 7. No one wanted to disc golf with me. That's what I'm talking about, man. I had kids at 18. Now I'm almost 40 and they're out of the house. How's that working though? I'm using my sarcastic voice, but I'm interested. Kate and I were talking about it. It's interesting, right? I feel like my mental model for life right now is that you're a kid and you don't really know what you're doing. You're just kind of like living life, having fun. And then you become an adult and you have to figure out like who you are circa age 21. And you kind of like piece that together bit by bit. Then you have kids and like at least temporarily, especially when they're super young, you cease being an individual. You subsume yourself entirely into your role. I am a father. I must provide for my family. Shit like that, right? Then after they move out, you kind of have to, my thing, this is hypothetical. My thinking is you have to figure out like who you are again, but circa like age 45 or something like that. Like you start your life again. I had no 20s essentially, which sucked. Now I have more free time than ever before. I hear you. I mean, like, here's what I'll say about that. I feel like, especially these days, most people lose their 20s. I had a decent decade, don't get me wrong, but like looking back, I do sort of feel like I didn't live like a traditional 20s. I burned a lot of time like needlessly recording way too many Isaac episodes instead of living my life. I think well, listen, I'm not comparing Isaac episodes to raising a child. That's not really fair. But I think a lot of people, if they look back on their 20s, would have regrets, or at least look back on it not 100% fondly. So I'm saying I don't think you should have FOMO over that. people are either like working really hard to establish themselves in the career, or like making a career change, or working a shitty job for 10 years and like trying to gain some traction, or partying too much and like compromising their health briefly or perhaps semi-permanently. Like, I think that's what your 20s are for. Like, your 20s are kind of like I don't know. It's most people, I think, don't get to really do what they want. That being said, it is annoying when someone who's like 24 is like, I'm old. You're like, shut up. Also saw a message. I'm not going to crash out on you, okay? But I saw a message that said my wife and I had to start telling our friends not to talk about their babies anymore because it came up every conversation. Why are you friends with them if you don't want them to talk about their life? And also, what would you rather they talk about, man? The baby consumes your whole life, man. What do you want them to talk about? Steven Universe? It's literally, no disrespect. I get their baby is not the most important thing in your life. That makes sense. But having a baby when you have one is like the most important thing you can do. And you want them to not talk about this thing that's like meaningful to their life. I'd cut you out of the group chat. I'd start another group chat with everyone but you. And then if you ever saw it, I would have to be like, we were planning your surprise party. Even if your birthday was like 11 months away, I'd have to be like, we're planning your surprise party. So I don't want to deal with that. My coworker had a child a year ago. Now 80% of the things he talks about is his kid. Obviously, man, what do you... Here's what I'm going to say, okay? It takes two to tango. If you're not happy with the direction of the conversation, and for some reason you're a narcissist, and you feel like people shouldn't be able to talk about stuff that's meaningful for you, they should only be able to talk about your special interest, then start leading the conversation, buddy. This is strictly ballroom. I'm happy to talk about like whatever you want to talk about, but you better be driving the bus if you're not happy with the way I'm steering. We're allowed to not be interested? Yeah, of course. That's like part of the social lubrication, bro. People talk about shit I find uninteresting all the time. What do? You go, whoa, that's really interesting. And then when you get the opportunity, you say, that reminds me of some shit that happened at the playground yesterday when my kid was on the monkey bars. You're trading shit that's more interesting to you to them. And then they tell you some shit that's interesting to them that you don't really find that interesting at all. That's what friendship is. Tit for tat is not the way to have a conversation. Okay, then find a motherfucker who wants to talk about trains, okay? Because like, circumstance brought us together and we have to talk. And now you're policing the way that I'm talking because I'm talking about shit that's important to me. This shit is ridiculous, man. What do you want to talk about? Talk about what do you want to talk about? New season of Common Side Effects? I don't want to hear that shit. Stop talking about cartoons, bro. I'm raising a member of the next generation. I don't want to hear some shit about Justin Roiland right now. It doesn't mean anything to me. I find it very prosaic. I find it a brief distraction while we're on this mortal coil until we pass through the lens of eternity. Defend yourself. That you can't resign. Defend yourself. I reject your offer for resignation. I would talk sports with you, but you guys get pissed about that too. Is your daughter reading any more words? Dude, it's actually crazy to just have like a smart kid. Sorry, I know you guys aren't interested. She's one of 2 kids in her class that can read, and she could read when the school year started in September. She's saying shit like otherwise. I don't know where she picked that up from. I have a pet theory. Well, I'm not saying I'm super smart. I think I have a great brain for language, even though I'm starting to mispronounce words all the time, which is troubling. But maybe it's just the way that it goes. So I think that there's a genetic component for language and for cutting up in class, because she is not as focused as I would like her to be. I think that a part of it might also be that she slept in my office while I was recording Isaac episodes, man. And I think maybe there's like, not to overly like personify or say that there's like a divine hand involved in human development, but maybe if you're a baby and your brain is like developing really fast, your brain is like, oh shit, I'm surrounded by words. Send some calories to like the word cortex. Build up the word, densify the word cortex like crazy. I think there might be an element of that, man. She's actually, like, she blows me out in debates sometimes. Which is not fair. She uses like my own words against me. And I'm like, you're 4, chill. That's supposed to be like, maybe when you're like 5 or 6, you're supposed to be doing stuff like that. It would be nice, I'm sure Kate will tell you, it would be nice if she listened a little better, though. But that's mostly her teacher's problem, I suppose. You should be nicer to your coworkers, man. Why do you hate your coworkers? They don't want to work at the office either, bro. Sure, okay, maybe they have like pedestrian media tastes, but like they're people just like you. Just chill on them for what do you mean? They're so mean. I don't know them. They're shitty people. They hate my identity. Okay, well that's valid. That's valid. I was talking more about like if you have a coworker who's like, "Hey, did you see the new episode of let me think, what's the worst show on TV right now? Did you see the new episode of Ridiculousness last night?" If you're hating like that guy, you shouldn't hate that guy that much. Unless he's talking about like The Masked Singer or something like that. New episode? Yeah, that shit's still on the air somehow, man. It's America's Funniest Home Videos, but they don't even play that many videos. They play like 11 videos per 30-minute episode. America's Funniest Home Videos, at least, is like bang, bang, bang. Ridiculousness, they do like, here's the theme, and then there's like 4 videos. And then it's over, man. Anyway, I'll send you over there. Lights go out and my cock fell off. I can't sing about a ticking clock. Said I sucked a cock. I sucked a cock for you. And I swallowed 2. And it was all yellow.
Oh no.
Never said it was an orgasm. That he swallowed.
With a kiss is really funny.
In your eyes. You guys like Peter Gabriel?
Of course.
In your eyes, I am complete. In your
In your
eyes, in your eyes, my penis sleeps.
In your eyes.
Oh, okay.
For all my semen, for all my cum. I can feel you coming in my hair tonight. Wait for it, wait for it.
No.
Oh, Gord. And I've been waiting for this semen all my life. Where is your member? And the penis is slow. It's different for you and me. Do you remember the 20th time you sucked my member? We were breaking the confines of gender and sucking the night away. You can't hate it because I woked it. I woked it.